Hey guys, if y'all want to be able to level up fast and unlock all the sweet tier 3 equipment, then I got a great XP farm strategy that's both simple and effective. And so without any further ado, here are some custom settings for the XP farm. Alright, and so I can achieve a 10.05 multiplier for the XP farm. Here are the settings that we have to use. Starting sanity, 0. Sanity plus duration, also 0%. And of course, since we're already at 0% sanity, there's no point in making this anything but 200. Sprinting is useful for looping the ghost and for escaping certain cases, so despite there being a slight hit to your reward, I do like to turn it on. Player speed 100%, once again for the same reason, and flashlights to make it easier. And of course, we gotta turn this on to get the rewards. As for the ghost, keep the ghost speed at regular speed, 'cause this is really important for listening to footsteps and whatnot. Roaming frequency and all this other stuff, you can just set it to high, high, and low respectively, so you get the maximum reward. And everything else doesn't really change except for the grace period being 0, because you don't really need it. And a hunt duration of mediums, just so that the hunts don't take up too much of your time. And medium is good enough length for just kind of getting to determine the ghost. And evidence given, of course, 0, because we're going to be not using evidence and using other ghost traits to figure out the ghost. And as far as the contract settings, setup time 0. For weather, I personally use heavy rain, although if you want to, you can change it with very minimal effect. And starting doors open, high, just because it gives a higher reward. Hiding places is also very important to make that very high instead of off, because this relies on the fact that there are lots of open hiding spaces, so you don't just die. And sanity monitor off and activity monitor off as well, because you don't necessarily need it. And the fuse box starting the contract, it once again helps with having light, and also it can be used to test for a Jinn as well. So those are the settings. Oh yeah, one last thing, the cursed possession is 0 because you don't really need it. But anyways, once you have these settings, you're all good, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright, so as far as what equipment you need, you're going to need a crucifix to prevent the ghost from spawning really close to your hiding location. You're going to need an incense and a match of some kind to, of course, be protected from the ghost at all times, but especially when you're setting up, you may be hunted by just a ghost because you are starting at 0% sanity, so it's important to have this at all times so you don't get just like insta-killed. Could be a Deogen, and in that case, this might be one of the only ways to escape it if you get cornered. So yeah, essentially first you're gonna want to put this crucifix right here near your hiding spot, which would be that closet over there, which I'm gonna show you in just a sec. Next, we're gonna want to get a flashlight, and of course we're gonna get our own flashlight later on. But this one we're gonna just turn on and then plop right on the ground, just like so. And this of course going to provide a little bit of light, but also it's gonna be like a Raiju test, which will, since Raiju speed up near electronic equipment, if the ghost speeds up near the flashlight, you got yourself a Raiju. So that's that test for one ghost, and now we're gonna be testing for a wraith just by putting some salt around here. And since wraiths can't step in salt, if you see any footprints, you can automatically rule out a wraith. But if you don't see any footprints, you can kind of assume it's a wraith so long as it did pass through that area. And then next, what I usually do is I look through my objectives to see if there's anything else I need to carry in. In this case, a paramic is something I might want to carry in. So I generally just plop that down towards the front of the house, and then I might use it later to complete the objective. So I just kind of plop it down so. And then finally, you want your own flashlight, of course, with your own light. And then once you have that, you should be set. So yeah, in just a second, I'll kind of show you a cool little trick on how to figure out what ghost you're dealing with, and a very useful resource that I use. Anyways, I'll show you that in just a second, and let's get going. To help me out on this strategy, or just in general in Phasmophobia, I use this website, and I'll put the link and like the credits in the description and on the screen right now. And so basically with this, you can like, obviously since we're not using evidence, this won't be useful in the XP farm, but in the XP farm, we will be like using different like speed and like smudge timer criteria to eliminate the ghost. And this will essentially, like, if you're dealing with a fast ghost, you can click this, and this narrows down the list. of the ghosts that you can be dealing with, along with their tells, behaviors, hunt speeds, along with like what exactly their hunt speed sounds like. And this is also tells you the sanity that it hunts at, although it's not really that relevant in this case, since we start at 0%. And of course, if you don't know exactly what speed you're dealing with, you could tap your mouse to like the beat of the ghost footsteps to find like how many meters per second it's going. And using this, you could really improve your accuracy. Although over time you do naturally learn the ghost mechanics, so it's not as useful. But anyways, back to the strategy. This strategy can very easily detect the Deogen, Hantu, Moroi, Raiju, Revenant, They, Twins, and the Wraith all in the first hunt, with Jin, Myling, Oni, Phantom, Poltergeist, and the Yokai being fairly easy to detect just with an additional hunt or by looping the ghost, which is what I do in the third clip. And although it is a little bit more challenging, the Obake, the Demon, at least to some extent, and the Mimic can be detected with fair accuracy as well. And I do admit that there are some weaknesses, which is when if you get like a Banshee, a Goryo, Mare, Onryo, Shade, Spirit, or Yurei, which is hard to detect in a timely fashion without any sort of like luck or ghost trait just happening to show up. But this XP farm's got you covered with 17 out of the 24 ghosts, which are pretty good odds, so yeah. At this point, I was pretty confident that I was dealing with the twins because I heard very slightly faster than average footsteps at 1.87 meters per second. But just to make sure, I wanted to listen to it again and match it up with the 1.87 meters per second sound according to the cheat sheet, or possibly to listen to for the slower twin, which moves a little bit slower than the average speed. After that, I was pretty confident that it was the twins, and I did get it right. But let me quickly skip ahead to the next hunt that happens. Since I heard both the fast twin and the slow twin, I was 100% sure that it was twins, unless it happened to be the mimic that was mimicking the twins. But since it was not, I happened to be right, and I got a $2,600 and XP reward. And next round, I actually did encounter the twins, so I'll show you how that went for me. The ghost is nearby, so it burns up 2 crucifixes before it starts hunting, so I'll just skip to the part where it actually starts hunting. Since the ghost was going at a regular 1.7 meters per second ghost speed, it didn't really narrow down the list of potential ghosts or help me deduce very much, but I did check if the ghost stepped in the salt, and since it did, I automatically ruled out Wraith, and then I went back into the closet so that I can just listen for the ghost speed one more time just to make sure, and also to test for a yokai with a flashlight if I did hear regular speeds again. So in this clip, you'll see me do one of the dumbest things possible, which is when even after I realized that it was a mimic just mimicking a Deogen, I smudged it and then proceeded to run into a dead end like a dumbass. So guys, if you have even an ounce more common sense than me, y'all would have easily gotten this ghost. So I mean, even though I still got it right, I died, so not quite a success. So, trust me, the strategy does work, just don't be quite a dumbass like me, and y'all should get it right. So in this final clip, I was dealing with a poltergeist, and I feel like this is a very important clip because this is more indicative of what you have to do in the event that simple stuff like footsteps and like footstep speed and whatnot don't really narrow down the list that much. So you have to actually loop the ghost and do other things as well to really deduce what it is. So I'll show you how it went. The ghost started hunting from pretty far away, so I wasn't even able to get the ghost to detect the flashlight, so therefore I couldn't really test for a yokai. So that's why in this next hunt, I went up to the closet closer to the living room, and then I waited there instead so that I could test for a yokai. So on the second hunt to test for a yokai, I turned on my flashlight once the ghost was within the 7.5 regular ghost electronic detection radius, but outside of the yokai's really short 2.5 meter electronic detection radius. And since the ghost came to me and opened the closets, as soon as I turned on my flashlight just for a brief moment, I automatically ruled out a yokai. So then for the final test, I had to actually go outside and loop the ghost to figure out what it was. So while the ghost is still smudged, and before I actually commit to looping it, I wanted to just quickly move the crucifix over to the kitchen so that the ghost doesn't just spawn on top of me, which has happened to me at least twice. So please, if you want to loop the ghost, make sure to bring a crucifix with you, or else you might die a pretty embarrassing death. The Poltergeist is well known for its multi-throw ability or its ability to throw objects far, but one key thing to look for during a hunt in this strategy is to see how much the objects are being thrown around by the ghost. While every ghost does throw around objects during a hunt, and that doesn't necessarily make the Poltergeist unique, but what does make it unique is its frequency, where it throws an object every 0.5 seconds. So if it appears that there's a object essentially erupting from the ghost, then in that case, you can confidently say that it's a Poltergeist. Anyways, guys, for anyone still watching, I really appreciate your support for watching until the end, and I really hope that my guide for this XP farm would help you level up quickly. And anyways, I'll see you next time, and I wish you guys the best luck in XP grinding.